Thank you for tuning in to Star Talk, a podcast from the Durham County Sheriff's Office. I'm Clarence Birkhead, your Durham County Sheriff. We produce Star Talk to inform our residents about the many different things we do here at the Durham County Sheriff's Office. In this episode, we will discuss some recent crime trends that members of our Criminal Investigation Division have been noticing. We're talking about scams and a recent uptick in fraud and other examples of ripoffs. My guest today will talk about how people are being targeted and to suggest some common sense advice so you can be aware of how not to fall victim to what's out there. Helping me to get to the bottom of this challenge is a veteran of Durham County Sheriff's Office, Captain Eric Carpenter. Captain Carpenter brings years of experience to the Durham County Sheriff's Office. He has filled many roles during his excellent career here, but he currently leads our Criminal Investigations Division, or CID for short. CID investigates various types of crimes and works directly with other divisions to keep Durham County safe. Captain Carpenter, welcome to Star Talk.
Sheriff, thank you. I'm excited to be here. Appreciate the offer.
Captain Carpenter, before we dive into the important subject of scams and being aware of what this is all about, please share with our listening audience a little bit about yourself, your career here at the Sheriff's Office.
Yes, sir. So I've been with the Sheriff's Office 25 years, actually over 25 years now. I've worked in many different divisions, spent a lot of time in our training division and patrol division. Like you said earlier, I'm currently the captain over our Criminal Investigations Division, where I work with some awesome people who really enjoy helping people. So this is a great topic, and I appreciate you bringing it to the forefront.
Captain Carpenter, I can remember earlier in my career, one of the best jobs I had was an investigator. Do you think your investigators still feel that way about investigating crimes and helping victims to become whole again?
Yes, sir. So I think from the patrol aspect, investigating crime, you pretty much answer the call, and then you get the information, and it goes to our Criminal Investigations Division. So I think these guys really enjoy being able to take it a step further and help people. So I think that's the key. So I think they have a passion for it. It's an honor to be chosen as an investigator with the Sheriff's Office. So we have, like I said, we have a great team down there, and they're always eager to help people.
Yeah, I read the reports, and your investigators, our investigators, are doing a fantastic job. It really is gratifying to take bits and pieces of evidence to investigate a crime, identify a potential perpetrator or suspect, and really try to build a case for successful prosecution. And once again, to make sure the victim is satisfied. And if we're able to recover property, we do that as well. But we really want to bring folks to justice and give some satisfaction to the victims. And I just remember from my days as an investigator, that was really gratifying for me. And so sometimes that's why I talk to your guys more often than they probably would like for me to. But I like and appreciate the great work that they're doing. So this is very timely, this topic of scams and fraud, and we know that sometimes the elderly population is targeted. And but right now I'm seeing and getting calls from residents all over Durham. There's no particular demographic, there's no particular age group. It just seems that scams are on the rise. And right now, this is Consumer Protection Week, takes place in the month of March. So on March 7th, we will recognize National Slam the Scam Day, which is a national alert from the Social Security Office of the Inspector General to recognize not only Social Security-related scams, but a national warning to stop scammers from stealing consumers' money and personal information. Captain Carpenter, right here locally in Durham and even across the state, how common are these scams?
Yes, sir. Well, unfortunately, it's very common. And like you said earlier, scams, frauds, all this has been going on since I've been in law enforcement, and obviously prior to me starting my career. So it seems to come in waves. Like a new trend will start, and then it will kind of go through this area, and then it will go away, and then something else will start. So and then the old ones still come back, and the new ones, which we'll talk about, different ones here in a minute. But it's it's unfortunate, but it just, and like you said, doesn't really pick an age. Yes, some of our elderly folks sometimes are more prone to these scams, but unfortunately, it affects everyone.
Yeah, they really do affect everyone. And as I mentioned a moment ago, I get calls from residents throughout Durham about different scams, and we try to stay on top of the tricks and the trades that these scammers use, but the technology has lent itself to them being very creative, either sending it out on a text message, a phone call, your cell phone, email. So really, technology has opened the door for these scam artists to be quite creative, and I'm sure you and your guys see that as well. A common type that we hear a lot about is the jury scam. Obviously, my name is on every jury summons that goes out, and people get confused sometimes as to number one, they don't want to come to serve on jury duty, but they do get confused when they get a request or a letter or a phone call that says they need to pay money to answer a jury summons, or if they don't appear, they'll be fined, et cetera, et cetera. So doing this particular type of scam, innocent people will receive a phone call. They'll be informed that they missed their jury duty, or as a result of that, they have an arrest warrant. Let's talk about the realities of serving on a jury, and let's really educate our people on how we don't do those types of notices, and we will not send out anything requesting money. Let's talk about the jury summons scam.
Okay. Well, yes, unfortunately, that's one that's been hot in this area lately. And what they'll do is they'll go on our website, grab names from our agency, and pretend to be that person. Their phone may even show up. The caller ID phone may even show up as the Durham County Sheriff's Office. And what they do is they say that, hey, you've missed jury duty, and you have a fine, or you have an arrest warrant to avoid being arrested. We need you to pay this fine. And it sounds legit. They have a name. They have it may show up on the caller ID. But the sheriff's office, first of all, law enforcement in general will never call and say you owe money and want you to pay a fee over the phone. No law enforcement agency would ever do that. And as far as jury summons and jury duties, we're not involved in that at all. So we don't know who gets called to jury duty. We don't, we're never involved in those kind of actions. So if they're pretending to be law enforcement reference to jury duty, right there, you can hang up and know that that's a fraud, and we would never be involved in that.
And you just gave some really good advice. Hang up.
Yes.
Hang the phone up.
It's that easy, yep.
Because they will continue to ask questions and try to trick you into giving information. Is that correct, Capt?
Yes, sir. Yep. So, and that's one thing what it's definitely a key point to take away is they don't want you to hang up. They want to keep you on the phone, because if you do hang up and you do a little research, or if you make a phone call, if you go to our website, you'll see that these kind of scams happen, and there's information for that to try to avoid that. So they do not want you to hang up, because once you hang up, then they've lost that link to try to steal money or identity or whatever they're looking for.
So our number one tip today would be hang up. Hang up as soon as you possibly can. The longer you stay on the phone, the more they're going to try to talk to you and convince you that you need to pay them money, or they'll try to get you to give them some critical personal information so that they can get into your bank accounts or whatever the case may be. So tip number one, hang up. Protecting the consumer is key. We all know that we're reaching the saturation level as it relates to everyone having a mobile phone. While the technology increases convenience, it brings everything right to our fingertips. We know that thieves are stealing information either through hacking into your personal phone. We all carry bank information on our phones. We have these mobile apps. Let's talk about how to guard your cell phone from being scammed or hacked into.
Yes. So there's lots of ways as far as apps and protections to phones to help protect. Utilizing the internet, never want to put personal information on websites, phone calls. Never want to, like you said, give out any kind of personal information. like you said, if you think it's a scam, hang up. That's always the key thing. Other things that these scam these do, they'll look for, they'll try to have you pay in different ways. Instead of paying, through a normal way, they're asking you to pay through cryptocurrency. I don't even really know what cryptocurrency is, so I would know right now that's a scam for me because I wouldn't even know how to even get involved in that. But a lot of people are involved in that, so that's one way they want you to pay. Things that can't be traced, that Western Union, gift cards, things like that. So if you get phone calls from organizations like that requesting you to pay for either charity events or saying you owe fees, or from a different organization asking you to pay for one of those means, that's right there is a red flag.
So tip number 2 would be, if you're going to use a mobile app, be sure to use one from your banking institution. Do your research, whether you bank at Wells Fargo, the credit union, any of the banks that are out there. Make sure that you're using their app that they put together, and your banking information is secure. And you're absolutely correct. Let's stay away from cryptocurrency. I'm sure it's going to catch on at some point, but for me, cash is king. So let's stay away from cryptocurrency. And also, we do not ever at the Durham County Sheriff's Office ask for gift cards.
No.
And so it is amazing that we continue to hear that scam is getting a lot of traction. So we definitely want people to be aware, as you stated. Don't go buy gift cards. Don't transfer any of your money through anything other than a reputable bank that you are already established with. So very good information. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Star Talk. You can email us at feedback@durhamsheriff.org. We'll be right back. I'm Durham County Sheriff Clarence Birkhead. We are hiring now. If you want to make a difference in our community, I want you to join our team. The Durham County Sheriff's Office offers a generous benefit package and a wide range of career opportunities. If you are at least 21 and have a high school diploma, we want to hear from you. Be the future of the Durham County Sheriff's Office. Join the team today. Visit durhamsheriff.com. Welcome back to Star Talk. We are talking to Captain Eric Carpenter today, and we're talking about scams. We have another topic that we're going to transition to, but Captain Carpenter, I know you have more information about scams and more tips for our listening audience. So would you provide us with some really solid tips and information that you have about scams before we move on?
Yes, sir. We've already hit some highlights, but like you said, hang up obviously is a key thing. Block unwanted calls and texts. Once you get a number that you don't know, most phones allow you to block it, text and phone calls, and that obviously helps. Never give out any personal financial information over the phone. Honest organizations aren't going to ask for your social security number, bank account information, credit card numbers. Never give that information over the phone. And again, law enforcement is never going to ask for money. No law enforcement agency will ever ask for any money for unpaid fines, or if you have a warrant, they want you to pay this fine. That never going to happen. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I'm speaking from personal experience because this Christmas I tried to buy an item for a Christmas gift, and I thought I found a really good deal. I was like, hey, I'm going to save some money. It was a refurbished one, so I was like, I did a little research on the website. Everything looked okay, and sure enough, I was scammed. Yeah. It wasn't a legit website, and I never received the item. I did file a complaint with my bank, and I was able to get my money back. So that's always an option out there that you can do. And then lastly, if you feel like you're encountering a fraud or a scam, contact your local law enforcement agency. We can come out, we can make a report of it, and you can also contact the Federal Trade Commission. You go to the website, you can just Google their name, and then you can get all the information. But we're happy to come out, take a report, and that way we can put it out there to the public too. Because if you're receiving that scam, so is somebody else.
No, thank you so much for sharing the information on how not to be a victim of scams. And certainly, thank you for sharing that personal story. That just demonstrates that it can happen to anyone. And I'm sure if we all think about it, we've got some stories over the years where we have been scammed and we ordered something and it wasn't quite what it was supposed to be, or in your case, never got it at all. So we sure that happens to all of us at some point in time. If you're listening to this and you want more information, feel free to contact our CID unit at 919-560-0880. And again, we encourage you to report anytime that you have been scammed or been attempted to be scammed. Just let us know. Captain Carpenter has provided some great information for us this morning. So I want to transition to a few more topics and issues that we are experiencing, that we're seeing here in Durham County and Durham City. I want to discuss some of the related challenges we have with property crimes, stolen vehicles. So, Captain Carpenter, we know that there's been a significant increase in stolen vehicles and car break-ins. Just in the last number of months, we've seen over 200 incidents of vehicles stolen. And I know firsthand, because I read the reports, that we recover a ton of stolen vehicles from other jurisdictions. This is not just a Durham City or Durham County problem. What are some things that folks can do to make sure their vehicle is less likely to be targeted or stolen? And we certainly don't want them to leave any valuables in their vehicles. Let's talk about that.
Yes, sir. So this is not, like you said, a Durham problem. This is a United States problem. This is every agency is dealing with this. But let's start with the obvious. Don't leave your car running with the keys in the vehicle. I mean, that's just the obvious. I know, and I'm not trying to downplay that, but it's so simple to never leave your car running with the keys in it, and never leave your keys in the vehicle, or key fob in the vehicle. Those are ways right there that can help lessen the chance of your vehicle being stolen. Another thing is the Kia and Hyundai vehicles had an issue with the keyless start, which was allowing thieves to steal these cars very easy. So that also affected the numbers of vehicles stolen. Since then, both manufacturers have issued recalls to fix this problem. So if you have one of those types of vehicles, please make sure you do the recall. You can also buy mechanisms to lock the steering wheel. Back in my day, I remember the infomercials. I think they call them the club. You can utilize those. To buy. I'm sure you can find that on a lot of sites to buy something like that. But if you have one of those vehicles, make sure that you have the update so that help fix the issue.
Well, we certainly want to encourage folks, if they have those vehicles, if you have that Hyundai for sure, get the update, because those are what we call hot sheet vehicles. They show up on the stolen vehicle reports on a regular basis. And Captain Carpenter, if I'm not mistaken, in 2023, we had nearly 250 recoveries of stolen vehicles from across the state of North Carolina. Again, we know that crime has no boundary, so we recover stolen vehicles out of jurisdictions such as Wake County, Raleigh, Greensboro, Morrisville, all around us, of course. And for some reason, those vehicles end up in Durham, and vice versa. As I talk with my colleagues across the state, we share information up and down the 85 and I-40 corridor, and they too are seeing vehicles stolen out of Durham that end up in their jurisdiction. So we certainly want people not to leave their keys in the car, as you mentioned. Tip number 2, don't leave your car running if you have to run into the store, and just be smart. And when you are out and about, always try to park your vehicle in well-lit areas, and then remember where you park your car. I've actually had people say they can't find their vehicle, and sometimes it's stolen, but sometimes it's just they can't remember where they parked it. Captain Carpenter, are there any other things we should share with our listeners about vehicles and trying not to be a victim of an auto theft?
It's we have hit a lot of highlights, but I mean, your vehicle. Obviously, most people, if you have also, I know we're going to hit this in a minute with items left in your vehicle and keeping it secure, but keeping your vehicle locked. If you're able to, if you park at a apartment complex or something, if you're able to park closer to your house or your residence, that makes it a little bit easier. If you have neighbors, it's always good to let your neighbor know. They kind of know your schedule. I mean, you don't want to have I guess people like their privacy, but also have people look out for you. So if they see something suspicious in their around their vehicle, they can call. Hey, I don't recognize that person. So being in touch with your neighbors, either at wherever you live, so they can always be on the lookout for not just your car, but your property too.
So we encourage folks to be good neighbors,
Absolutely.
to watch out for one another. And you touched on something that we are going to dive a little deeper into, but we don't want items of value left in the vehicle, whether it's your purse, your laptop, certainly not your weapon if you are a legal owner of a firearm. We don't want you to leave those items in the car. And if you do, we suggest that you secure them or put them out of sight in the trunk or in the glove box under lock and key. And we see that all too often, that a laptop bag or a purse or packages that you have been out shopping during the holidays perhaps, and you leave those out in your vehicle. And most vehicle break-ins and even vehicle thefts are crimes of opportunity, right? And so we want to make it as difficult and unattractive as possible to steal your vehicle or certainly break into your vehicle. Let's talk about gun safety. There's no denying that there are a lot of weapons in the hands of people that should not have them. Many of these guns end up in the hands of criminals because they're left unsecure in vehicles, as we've mentioned, or in their homes, and people leave their weapons unsecure even in their homes. Young people with access to firearms have brought them to school. They've used them to harm themselves and others. And in 2023 alone, we reported a total of 262 firearms that we seized here at the Durham County Sheriff's Office. Of those, 34 were reported stolen. Captain Carpenter, what steps should legal gun owners take to help ensure that their weapons don't fall in the hands of those intent on doing wrong things?
Yes, like the stolen vehicles, and this is obviously a trend that's not just Durham related. A lot of people leave weapons in vehicles, and in my opinion, that's the number one thing right now that's prompting all these car break-ins is people are looking for firearms when they're breaking in these vehicles, because you won't see much disturbed at all. Sometimes they even leave other things alone. They're breaking into a vehicle. So first thing, of course, make sure your vehicle is locked, but never leave your firearm in the vehicle. Even if you're not going to be in that vehicle, take your firearm and from that vehicle and secure it in your residence. But never leave it in the vehicle. Even if your vehicle is locked, even if you put it in a glove box or in a center console, that's not secure. If they're gonna break into a vehicle, they'll break into the center console or the glove box looking for that gun. So please don't leave any weapons inside your vehicle if you're not in that vehicle.
Yeah, we really want to stress gun safety. We want people to be responsible gun owners. Whether it's in your car or at home, as Captain Carpenter has mentioned, secure that weapon. Take it with you. Invest in a lockbox. Here at the Durham County Sheriff's Office, we will provide gun locks so you can secure your weapon inside your home. We know that guns in the home often end up in the hands of those who harm themselves. Suicide is high right now, and the number one weapon of choice is an unsecured gun in the home. So we have gun locks. We can point you to inexpensive gun safes that you can lock and secure your weapon. And another common sense tip is secure your ammunition away from your weapon. I know it's a little inconvenient, but it does save lives. And we know that Durham is growing every day, and our population is mobile. People are coming and going and moving. Anyone driving around our county or city, they see the storage units, and storage units are popping up all over the place. Not too far from my neighborhood, there's a new construction site that's a massive storage facility. While they are offering convenience and additional storage, they also are becoming sites where crimes are being committed. Talk to us about some additional challenges that we're seeing as it relates to these public storage units.
Yes, sir. So these storage units are always targets for for thieves. So some things that you can do to help lessen your chance of having your storage unit break into is if they offer a storage unit has multiple levels, try to stay away from the bottom level if possible. Other things you can do is you can get a secure heavy-duty lock. If they offer a door code or some type of access code, invest in that. You may have to pay a little bit more, but it definitely helps better secure your property than would a lock. And or a door alarm also would work. Other key things you want to do is take pictures of the items that you put in there. So if your unit does get broken into, you have pictures of it. And we always recommend, and this goes for the property in your home too, taking pictures of it and putting some type of identification number on your property, such as electronics. Never use your Social Security number, but we do recommend maybe using your driver's license number. That way, if your items are stolen and recovered, we're able to identify those items and return them to you.
No, those are all great tips for our listening audience. My number one tip for avoiding being the victim of a storage unit break-in is downsize. Get rid of some of the stuff that we have. I used to.
Don't tell my wife that.
I tell you, I was so glad when we downsized and we were able to get rid of that monthly storage building fee. But nonetheless, they do serve a purpose, but we just want folks to be safe, and we want their items and property to be safe whenever they are using the public storage facility. We close this edition by reminding all of you to be safe and protect yourself as well as your assets. The Durham County Sheriff's Office is here to help you if you need us. You can always call us at 911 or 919-560-0900 to report a crime. We've been talking to Captain Carpenter about safety tips and the great work that this Criminal Investigations Division is doing here at the Durham County Sheriff's Office. I hope the information that we've provided for you here today is helpful. Remember that you can contact Captain Carpenter or any of his investigators by calling 919-560-0880, or you can go to the website, durhamsheriff.com. Before we leave, Captain Carpenter, are there any last words or tips you want to provide to our listening audience?
Yeah, I think we hit a lot of highlights here. Hang up. If you don't know who's calling, ask for information. Hang up. Do your own research. Secure your vehicle. Secure your residence. Know what property you have in your house so you can identify if it was taken. And just common sense. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, and it's probably a scam.
Very well said, Captain Carpenter. Common sense. Think twice before you hit that button or click on that app or open up that website. Use your common sense. We also have the SCOPE unit, the Sheriff's Community-Oriented Policing Unit here at the Durham County Sheriff's Office. We're happy to come to your community to talk to your homeowners association, your civic or church group, that we can share these tips with you and your neighbors to make sure you all stay as safe as possible. We thank you for listening to Star Talk. Until next time, this is the Durham County Sheriff, Clarence Birkhead, and I look forward to our next edition of Star Talk.